I was at the home of Madison Pierce, Northwood Uni. Versity's reigning campus queen, tutoring her un. I instinctively looked up, my eyes landing on Madison, who was sitting across the living room, tapping away at her own phone. It was like being struck by lightning. I froze. It couldn't be. My online girlfriend was the Madison Pierce? And when the hell had I offended her enough to earn that kind of hate? I was too scared to even breathe, let alone text back. Madison noticed me fiddling with my phone. Her brow furrowed, a hint of steel in her voice. Could you please focus on my sister and not your phone? I forced an awkward smile and quickly put my phone down. She, however, immediately went back to typing. A second later, my phone started vibrating like a jackhammer. Seriously, I thought, you tell me to get off my phone, then you blow it up? I glanced up again and caught her glare, but luckily, she didn't seem to suspect anything. Just then, Chloe, Madison's sister, slid her notebook over to me, her face glowing. Mr. Grayson, did I get this one right? I scanned her work. She followed my steps perfectly. I nodded, genuinely impressed. You're a fast learner, Chloe. Very smart. Any other questions? Chloe blushed. No, that's everything. Thanks, Mr. Grayson. You explained things really well. Just as she finished, the door opened and their mother, Mrs. Pierce, walked in. It was easy to see where Madison got her looks. Her mother was stunning. Chloe, honey, how's Mr. Grayson's tutoring? Are you getting it? Mrs. Pierce asked with a warm smile. Chloe nodded vigorously, chirping like an excited sparrow. Cole is the best. He's so nice and patient, and he's really cute. I vote that he becomes my permanent tutor. I kept a calm expression, but inside I was doing a victory lap. I stole a glance at Madison. Her face was a thundercloud, her grip on her phone so tight I thought it might shatter. Mrs. Pierce nodded, pleased. Well, I've never seen you so happy with a tutor. It's settled then. Cole will continue teaching you. Chloe practically jumped for joy. Then Mrs. Pierce turned to me, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Cole, it's getting late. Why don't you just stay the night? You and Maddie go to the same school. You could just go together in the morning. It'd be so much easier. My gut clenched. I glanced guiltily at Madison before declining. Thank you for the offer, Mrs. Pierce, but I need to go home and pack some things for my dorm. And please call me Cole. Mrs. Pierce looked disappointed. You're such a well-mannered young man. Madison is the same age, and she's still throwing tantrums. I looked down at Madison, who was furiously typing. I followed the line of her arms up to her face. Her normally pale, perfect skin was flushed with anger, making her look even more striking under the bright lights. Well, all right, Mrs. Pierce said with a sigh. Where do you live? Madison can give you a ride. Madison shot up. Mom, I have plans. I can't drive him. Mrs. Pierce gave her a look and gently tapped her on her forehead. Your only plans when you don't have class are to sit at home and play video games. What could you possibly have to do? Chloe chimed in. Exactly. All she ever does is play Valorant. Madison shot her sister a death glare and grudgingly snatched the Ferrari keys off the table. The second I stepped out of the house after saying goodbye to their mom, Madison was right behind me, her voice sharp. Ugh, you're such a freak. How do you even have a job as a tutor? You do nothing but stare at me when you think I'm not looking. Don't think I haven't noticed. Seeing her cheeks puffed out, I couldn't help but remember the cute, flirty way she acted online. A smile tugged at my lips. When she saw me smiling, her expression shifted from confusion to embarrassment, then to pure rage. Cole Grayson, you sicko. I forbid you from tutoring my sister. She balled her fists like she was about to jump up and hit me. Just then, the front door opened again. Maddie, what are you doing? Cole has to get home. Madison shot me a final, mortified glare. You wait right here. I'm getting the car. As she disappeared into the underground garage, I finally had a chance to look at my phone. Babe, why aren't you answering? He was a terrible tutor. He just kept staring at me. I totally called him out on it. The last message was a sticker of a cat pouting. It was followed by another. Babe, when can we meet? I promise you won't be disappointed. I typed back, no way. I'm seriously ugly. We should probably just forget about meeting. She replied instantly. Babe, you finally answered. What are you doing? I wrote, just got an earful from some brat. Kinda pissed off. What brat? Who dares talk to my baby like that? I almost laughed out loud. I'd never seen someone insult themselves before. Another message popped up. My mom is making me drive that classmate home. No way am I doing that. I'm just going to fall asleep in the car. He's a total creep. I bet he has a thing for me. I asked, why do you have such a problem with his classmate anyway? Because he was talking trash about me behind my back. Of course, she was still holding on to that. It was our first Zoom class of the semester, and I was new to the software. I saw the microphone icon with the red line through it and the words unmute below. I wasn't sure if I was muted or not. Just then, my roommate Liam sent me a voice note. Dude, you see Madison Pierce, right? She's gorgeous, and she has a Ferrari. I wish she was my girlfriend. Some rich kid asked her out the other day, and she shot him down. I don't stand a chance. Trying to make him feel better, I blurted out, what's so great about her? You'd get frostbite just looking at that ice queen. She'd probably beat you up. Suddenly, the professor cleared his throat. Mr. Grayson, please mute your microphone. This is a lecture, not a private conversation. My blood ran cold. From that day on, Madison had looked at me with pure hatred. When the campus lockdown ended, the story spread like wildfire. Some of her crazy fans even wanted to fight me, but I paid them off to leave me alone. At least Madison never confronted me about it directly. I guess she never expected her online boyfriend to be her real-life enemy. The front door opened again. Mrs. Pierce stepped out, looking surprised to see me. Cole, you're still here? Where's Maddie? It's okay, I said. I just called an Uber. Cancel it, she insisted. Maddie will take you. She pulled out her phone and walked a few feet away to make a call. A minute later, she gave me a thumbs up. Soon, a red Ferrari pulled up to the curb. Madison shot me a cold look. Get in. I quickly slid into the back seat. The faint, sweet scent of her perfume almost lulled me to sleep. I thought about how we'd met playing Valorant. It was wild to think that Madison Pierce, a girl who never gave any guy the time of day, was in an online relationship. My phone buzzed again. Babe, can we please meet? I haven't even seen what you look like. I thought for a moment, then typed, if I looked like that classmate of yours, would you still like me? Her phone chimed, but she only glanced at it. She didn't reply. She was driving, after all. The car screeched to a halt near my apartment building. The second I was out, the Ferrari roared away. I chuckled and muttered, damn cold-blooded. Then I pulled out my phone and made a call. An hour later, I was standing in front of my family's waterfront estate. I never wanted to reveal my identity as a Grayson. My whole life, people had only ever been interested in my family's money. Later that night, I lay in bed texting Madison. I always felt so relaxed talking to her. She was a completely different person online, a total contrast to her real-life persona. A few minutes ago, she'd finally answered the question I'd asked in the car. If you look like that classmate, I'd really have to think about it. You said you'd like me no matter what I looked like. I texted back. Her replies slowed down. After a moment, a new message appeared. Okay, fine, but you can't look like that sicko. He gives me nightmares. Hubby, why didn't you ask me to play Valorant today? The word hubby made my skin crawl. Don't call me that, it's weird. She immediately sent a sticker of a crying kitten. No, you're my hubby. I'm gonna call you that. I sighed and changed the subject. I might be busy for a while. Probably won't be able to play during the day or at night. Okay then, hubby. Let me know when you're free. After we said our goodnights around midnight, I fell asleep. The next morning, I was heading to campus with Liam when I noticed the strange atmosphere at the main gate. What's going on? Why are there so many people here? I asked a guy walking by. You don't know? It's Madison Pierce's birthday, he said, his face alight with excitement. Kyle Becker is about to ask her out. I spotted Madison immediately. She was holding a fancy cake box and scanning the crowd. Suddenly, her eyes locked on me. She frowned and started walking right toward me. A sense of dread washed over me. She couldn't have found out, could she? I turned to walk away. Cole Grayson, stop right there. Her icy voice cut through the noise. She strode through the crowd and stood in front of me, her expression unreadable. She spoke like she was reciting a line from a play. I would like to formally invite you to my house for dinner tonight. Before I could even process it, Liam gasped beside me. The other students stared, their jaws on the floor. Oh my God, am I dreaming? The campus queen just invited someone somewhere. I just stared, then managed a nod. The moment I did, she turned and walked away. As she passed Kyle Becker, he stepped in front of her. Get out of my way. What do you think you're doing? Madison looked annoyed. Kyle smiled. Maddie, I know it's your birthday. This is all for you. He gestured to a giant heart on the ground, made of roses. Madison's brow furrowed. And what does any of this have to do with me? Who asked you to celebrate my birthday? These little tricks might work on freshmen, but don't try them on me. It's disgusting. Humiliated, Kyle's face darkened. He pointed at me and yelled at Madison. I'm not good enough for you? How is he any better than me? I was speechless. I just shot back. What the hell are you talking about? Madison, however, was calm. Her voice was frigid. Even if I did get together with Cole Grayson, I would never in a million years have anything to do with someone like you who plays with girls' feelings and has zero respect for anyone. Her words sent a ripple of laughter through the crowd. Kyle's face was beet red. Cole Grayson, you just wait, he snarled before storming off. Seeing the crowd growing, I grabbed Liam's arm. Let's go. Nothing to see here. On the way to class, Liam's curiosity was on fire. What the hell is going on? You trash talk her on a Zoom call. Now you're tutoring her sister, and she's not making your life a living hell. I grimaced. Don't remind me. I tutored for a few hours, and she nearly drove me insane. You're just pouring salt in the wound. If you hadn't said that stuff about her, Liam said, and you actually asked her out, you'd probably have a better shot than Kyle. I waved my hands dismissively. Don't even say that. I know my place. What do you mean, you know your place? Liam said, suddenly serious. You're good-looking, you're rich, your family's on the same level as hers. You ain't more low-key than Kyle. What's not to know? Hearing his words, I pulled out my phone and looked at my chat history with Madison from last night. My eyes lingered on the word hubby. A pang of sadness hit me. If she knew who I was, would she still call me that? Or would she tear me down just like she did to Kyle? As I was thinking, a message from Madison popped up. Come here, hubby. My mom twisted my ear this morning. It's almost red. It was followed by a crying kitten sticker. I replied, are you okay? Why? She immediately changed the subject back to me. It's because of my sister's tutor. My mom took it out on me. How is this my fault again? I thought, has this girl never been in a relationship? She's constantly complaining about another guy to her online boyfriend. Good thing that other guy was me. Another message. You have no idea how dumb that guy is. Oh yeah? How dumb is he? I roll my eyes. I had to hear this. My mom made me invite him to dinner. There was this other guy at the gate with a cake, so I couldn't get out of the car. And that idiot just stood there staring at nothing instead of walking onto campus. I had no choice but to get out and go get him, and then I got cornered by the other guy. Remembering her cold expression that morning, I thought of a way to mess with her. Someone else brought you a cake? I guess I'm being replaced. As expected from someone with zero dating experience, she didn't reply for a long time. Finally, a message came through. It's my birthday today. Don't you have a gift for me, babe? I thought about it. A gift meant we'd have to meet. I quickly sent her a $200 Venmo request. She didn't pay it. Instead, she sent me $200. Hubby, use this to buy me a present and have it delivered in Northwood. Okay? A grin spread across my face. I accepted the money, then turned off my phone. Nice try, trying to trick me into meeting you. Let's see how you like it when you lose both the guy and the money. Of course, I wasn't actually going to ghost her. I ordered a bouquet of flowers and a stuffed animal to be sent to her via a delivery service. When I got to class, I saw that both Madison and Kyle looked miserable. Madison was obviously in a bad mood because I'd messed with her, which, in turn, put me in a great mood. Kyle just kept glaring at me like he wanted to murder me. Finally, class ended. The second Madison left, Kyle was in my face. Grayson, I'm warning you. Know your place. Don't be a frog trying to eat swan meat. Stay away from Madison Pierce, and stop trying to climb the social ladder. You're not worthy. That set me off. What do you mean I'm not worthy? Spell it out for me. Kyle's face contorted. He probably wasn't used to people talking back to him. You don't know what you're not worthy of? You're nobody. Stop dreaming about Madison. I only ever see your mom on campus. Never seen your dad. Does he not love you or something? Ha ha ha. Slap. My heart seized. I swung without thinking, catching him across the face. Kyle was furious. He squared up, ready to fight. I wasn't about to back down. Just as I was about to swing again, a hand grabbed my wrist. A wave of warmth spread through me. I turned. It was Madison, frowning. You get into fights? And you think you can teach my sister? I looked at her. Teaching this piece of trash some manners doesn't conflict with teaching Chloe math, does it? The moment Madison showed up, Kyle deflated like a pop balloon and scurried back to his seat. After my last class, my stomach was growling. I glanced over at Madison's seat, but she was already gone. A wave of disappointment washed over me. I thought we were leaving together. As I was packing my bag, I felt the hostile stares of Kyle and his friends. The tension in the room skyrocketed. Just then, Madison's impatient voice came from the doorway. "Cole Grayson, are you giving birth in there? I've been waiting forever." I turned and met her annoyed gaze. Her arrival instantly diffused the situation. I followed her to her car. In the back seat were the flowers and the stuffed animal I'd sent earlier, neatly arranged. She was humming a little tune, driving fast. It was clear she was in a good mood. When we got to her house, the driveway was full of cars. "Looks like you have a lot of guests for your birthday party." Madison looked unfazed. "So what? I barely know any of them. I'm going to go change. You can wait in Chloe's room." In Chloe's room, she asked, "Cole, do you play Valorant?" I held up my phone. "Who do you take me for? Ever seen a Radiant rank?" Her eyes lit up. "Can you carry me in my promotion match?" I figured I didn't know anyone downstairs anyway, so I agreed. We won the game easily. "You're amazing, Cole," she gushed. "You're smart, you're good at games, and you're handsome. You should just marry my sister." I was beaming. Just as we were about to start another game, we heard a commotion downstairs. Curiosity got the better of us. We forgot about the game and crouched by the door to eavesdrop. A guy was speaking emotionally to Madison. "Maddie, I've been so sincere about my feelings for you. Can't you see that? Why do you have to reject me?" Madison's voice was firm. "I told you last time, I've only ever seen you as a brother. I have no romantic feelings for you. I already have someone I like. This doll and these flowers are from him." The guy, Jason Chandler, sounded baffled. "You're lying. How could you fall for such an ordinary guy?" Hearing him put me down got under my skin. I whispered to Chloe, "Is this Jason guy a big deal?" Chloe nodded. "The Chandler family is pretty powerful. My dad and his dad have been best friends since they were young. He and my sister have known each other forever. They're basically childhood sweethearts." After hearing that, I asked tentatively, "He's handsome, and your families are well matched. Why isn't your sister interested?" Chloe shrugged innocently. "I don't know. You'd have to ask her. Maybe she really does have someone she likes." As if remembering something, Chloe leaned in close, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. "Cole, I'll tell you a secret, but you have to promise not to tell anyone, especially not my sister." My curiosity was piqued. I leaned in closer. "I accidentally saw my sister's text once," Chloe whispered, then giggled. "I think she's dating someone she met online." As the online boyfriend in question, I felt a wave of awkwardness wash over me. I couldn't let Chloe see, so I forced myself to cover my mouth and chuckle along with her. "And another time," she continued, "I saw their chat history. It was so cheesy. All these cute emojis and pet names like babe. It was so gross." Listening to her, I could feel my face burning and a cold sweat breaking out on my back. Chloe was about to say more. "And also," creak, the door swung open. Madison stood there, frowning. She looked at her sister, then at my slightly unnatural expression. "What are you two doing crouching by the door?" Chloe's eyes darted around. Thinking fast, she held up her phone. "We just found out the Wi-Fi is way better by the door." I nodded vigorously in agreement. But Madison walked straight over to me. To the absolute shock of all three of us, she grabbed my arm, turned to Jason at the door, and announced, "This is the man I like. His name is Cole Grayson. He's the one who gave me the doll." My eyes went wide. I looked at Madison in horror. She knew. She knew I was her online boyfriend? But when did she find out? I was so careful. As my mind reeled with confusion, Madison covered her mouth with her hand and whispered in my ear, "Play along. Help me get rid of him." The words hit me like a splash of cold water. I got it. Jason, of course, didn't believe it. Seeing us whispering so intimately made him even more frantic. "Do you have to be so cruel," he said loudly, "to reject me? You'd resort to such a childish trick? Even if you're going to get a fake boyfriend, couldn't you have found a better one?" Madison retorted instantly, "Don't judge a book by its cover. My boyfriend is every bit as good as you." Jason sneered. "With a loser like him? Mister, Pierce would never approve of you two." Madison tightened her grip on my arm, her voice firm and loud. "What's wrong with him? So he dresses simply. I like him for who he is, not what he looks like." Jason let out a contemptuous laugh. "This necklace I got you is worth $100,000, he boasted. Madison was momentarily speechless. Just then, Chloe had a stroke of genius. "Cole isn't poor at all. He's super rich, and he got a huge surprise for my sister. She winked at me. It's in my room, right, Cole? We'll go get it right now. I had no idea what she was playing at, but I gritted my teeth and nodded. Chloe turned to Jason at the door. Jason, my room's a bit of a mess right now. Could you wait out here for a minute? I muttered under my breath. Just so you know, I don't have a gift more expensive than his $100,000 necklace. Even though a single chandelier in my family's house was worth more than that, I was completely unprepared. Chloe was confident. I know you don't. She walked over to her desk, picked up a gift box, and said, Good thing I got my sister a present. I was going to surprise her with it, but I guess I have to bring it out early. Madison's face lit up. Wow, Chloe, thank you. What did you get me? Chloe feigned mystery. Open it and see. Weird, why is it so light? Madison eagerly tore open the box, only to find it empty. You got me an empty box? She asked, surprised. Chloe slapped her forehead in distress. Oh no, I knew it felt too light. I remember to get the gift box, but the designer bag I ordered is still at the store. Madison sighed. Okay, so the surprise is a bag that you haven't picked up yet. Chloe covered her face, embarrassed. Don't lecture me. I forgot. The problem now is how do we deal with that guy at the door? She pointed to a crystal snow globe on her desk. If all else fails, we can just use this. It cost me a few thousand when I bought it. I looked at the unremarkable snow globe. A piece of glass costs a few thousand? It must be nice to be rich. Madison immediately shot down the idea. No way. That snow globe has been in your room for years. It's not like he hasn't seen it. Chloe was getting anxious. Then what do we do? I already talked Cole up. She gave me an apologetic smile. As we were racking our brains, my backpack, which I tossed on Chloe's desk, suddenly fell to the floor with a thud. A square shipping box rolled out. Huh. I stared at the box, my eyes widening. It was an international package from my parents in Switzerland. I hadn't had time to open it earlier and had just stuffed it in my bag. I'd completely forgotten about it. An idea sparked. I think I have a solution. I picked up the box and tore it open. Whoa, is that watch expensive? Chloe asked curiously. I scratched my head, unsure how to answer. It probably wasn't cheap, I said vaguely. Madison picked up the invoice that had fallen out. Her jaw dropped when she saw the figure printed on it. $350,000. This watch is over $250,000. Is this a Patek Philippe? I tried to act calm. $350K. It's normal. It's a top-tier replica. Madison clearly didn't believe me. She scrutinized the invoice again. She'd seen enough of them to know it was from Switzerland. I snatched it back from her. The invoice is a replica too. Outside, Jason was getting impatient. Are you guys done in there? If you can't produce anything, just admit he's a loser. It's not a big deal, haha. At that moment, we walked out with the watch. Jason was dismissive. Kid, you think I'm an idiot? That's a Patek Philippe Sky Moon Tourbillon. You can't just buy that off the shelf in the States. Even if a loser like you could scrounge up $350,000, you couldn't get your hands on one. If that watch is real, I'll get on my knees and bow to you right now. My face was a mask of calm. No need for all that, I said, waving my hand. Just promise me you'll stop bothering Maddie from now on. Hearing me call her Maddie, Madison glanced at me, a strange glint in her eyes. Jason snorted. Fine. As it happens, I know the manager of the Patek Philippe boutique in Beverly Hills. We'll find out if this is real or fake in a second. Madison got nervous and secretly squeezed my arm. Chloe tugged on my shirt from behind. Seeing the two sisters so tense, I smiled. You better hope you have a number for a manager in Switzerland, because I bought this overseas. Jason laughed. That's hilarious. You'd trust a proxy buyer with a $350,000 watch. I smirked. What can I say? I like to live dangerously. Jason's face hardened. Kid, if this watch is fake, don't blame me for what happens next. I was unfazed. If you can prove it's fake, you can do whatever you want with me. Jason sent a text, and a few moments later, his phone rang. The person on the other end said, Mr. Chandler, I just checked. There are no domestic purchase records for this watch in the last 6 months. If someone is using a fake watch to impersonate a Patek Philippe client, we will pursue legal action. I spoke up, my voice full of confidence. Don't just check domestic records. I told you I bought it overseas. Check the purchase records in Switzerland. A moment later, the voice on the phone replied, You think we can't? Actually, a week ago, a Chinese-American citizen did purchase a Sky Moon Tourbillon in Switzerland. Jason's eyes widened. What's his full name? He asked frantically. The voice on the phone was apologetic. Mr. Chandler, I'm sorry, I don't have the clearance to view that information. I waved my hand dismissively. Don't make it so complicated. Ask him if the last 4 digits of the order number are 8980. The person on the other end checked. Yes, that's correct. The last 4 digits are 8980. What? Jason stared at me in disbelief. You really bought this watch? The voice on the phone continued. And it seems this Mr. Grayson didn't just buy one watch. He bought 6, all on the same day, at the same time. It wasn't just Jason who was speechless. Madison and Chloe, standing next to me, were completely stunned. If Jason hadn't been there, they probably would have interrogated me on the spot. I silently cursed. Damn, I overdid it. I have no idea how I'm going to explain this later. Worried the manager would dig further and expose my family, I quickly helped Jason end the call. All right, a deal's a deal. Remember what you promised. Jason stood there, fuming, before finally letting out a cold snort and storming downstairs, a tacit admission of defeat. Madison held up the watch. Explain, she said. Chloe, her eyes sparkling with excitement, asked, Is it true, Cole? Are you secretly a millionaire? I stammered awkwardly. Well, my dad has a friend in Switzerland, and they work together. The friend makes the invoices, my dad gets the watches, and then... Just then, my phone rang. Saved by the bell, I thought. I held up my phone. I have to take this. I hurried away. The voice on the other end said, Mr. Lee, you have an international package that requires in-person signature with ID. When will you be available for delivery tomorrow? Another one? After the party, I thanked Mrs. Pierce. Thank you for your hospitality, Mrs. Pierce. The food was amazing. As I was about to leave, Madison, surprisingly, offered to drive me back to campus. Don't get the wrong idea, she said. I don't want to drive you at all. I just don't want to get cornered by Jason again. This is just an excuse to leave. I nodded. Okay. She handed me the Patek Philippe. This is yours. You left it in my sister's room. I waved it off. It's fine. You can have it. It's just a high-end replica. It's not worth anything. She pursed her lips. We're not close enough to be exchanging gifts. Back at the dorm, the moment I walked in with a huge bag of leftovers, I was treated like a king. My roommates swarmed me. Our benevolent father. You should go on dates with Madison Pierce every day. Dad, can I have that abalone? I've never seen abalone this big. My dear Papa, can I try that lobster claw? It's huge. The jokes kept coming. That night, my status in the dorm was unshakable. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Madison. Babe, I'm all tucked in bed now. I replied, going to sleep early? Yeah, just wanted to chat with you a bit first. Babe, let me tell you, my day was so crazy. She went on and on about all the little things that had happened. Reading her messages, I could almost picture her lying there, hugging the stuffed animal, her soft voice sharing her day with me. It was a strangely wonderful feeling. The next day, I was back at the Pierce house tutoring Chloe. In the middle of a problem, she suddenly asked, Cole, do you like my sister? I was taken aback. Why do you ask? She shook her head, trying to look casual. No reason, just curious. She went back to her work. A minute later, she looked up again. My sister isn't as mean as she looks, you know. What are you trying to say? I asked, confused. I think you and my sister have a chance, she said quietly. She doesn't treat you like she treats other guys. I laughed bitterly. You're right, it's different. She especially hates me. I gave her the short version of how Madison and I became enemies. Chloe burst out laughing. That's why. She slapped my thigh. Don't worry, Cole. I've got your back. My sister won't bully you. When the session was over, Mrs. Pierce came in to ask about Chloe's progress. She looked at me warmly. Cole, are you sure you won't stay for dinner? I politely declined. No, thank you, Mrs. Pierce. Well, she said, Chloe likes you so much, and Maddie is staying on campus tonight. Why don't you stay and play with Chloe a little longer? I readily agreed. Sure, Chloe. I'll play a game with you. Yay. Chloe cheered. My flawless gameplay left her staring at the screen, her eyes full of worship. Chloe, hatching a little plan, figured that if I became her brother-in-law, I could carry her in Valorant every day. She leaned in again, whispering, Cole, I'll tell you another secret about my sister. What is it? My sister always looks so serious in public. You probably think she's really cold, right? Isn't she? I asked, my eyes still glued to the game. Chloe waved her hands frantically. No way. She's actually super socially anxious. That's why she puts on that cold front with people she doesn't know. Are you serious? I asked, surprised. Chloe nodded earnestly. Totally. She used to be just like me, but then something happened, and she changed. Okay, I believe you, I said with a smile, pointing at her phone screen. But if you don't move, their jet is about to get you. It was 10 o'clock by the time I got back to campus. Liam texted me. Father Cole, are you back yet? Can you grab me a Coke? So I headed to the campus convenience store. As I was about to pay, I saw a familiar figure at the counter. Madison. The cashier was speaking patiently to her. Miss, if you don't have any money, you can go back and get some. We don't close until 11:30. I walked up and smiled at the cashier. I'll get hers. The cashier smiled back. That'll be $50. I can scan your app. I paid, then turned, expecting to see Madison. But she was gone. I paid for her stuff, and she didn't even say thank you. So rude. I walked out of the store with the bags. Suddenly, her voice came from behind me. I forgot my phone. I'll Venmo you when I get back to my dorm. I turned. Her face was flushed with embarrassment, looking almost translucent in the dim light of the evening. Here. I handed her a bottle of water. Don't worry about the money. You want this? No, she replied coldly. All right. Her iciness didn't bother me. I asked casually, what did you buy? The moment the words left my mouth, I knew I'd said the wrong thing. Madison's face turned an even deeper shade of red. She looked down, her face crimson, and started to stammer. Finally, she just mumbled, thanks for today, and rushed off. Watching her leave, it suddenly clicked. No wonder she'd refused a cold drink without a second thought. Not long after I got back to my dorm, a message from Madison came through. Babe, my stomach hurts today. It was followed by a sticker of a character needing a hug. I quickly replied, trying to be patient. Try soaking your feet in hot water. It might help. And make sure you use a heavy blanket tonight. Okay, I will. Reading her boyfriend's message, Madison felt a strange sense of fondness welling up inside her. For some reason, as she scrolled through their chat history, Cole Grayson's face popped into her head. Why does he always show up right when I need help? She wondered, her gaze returning to her phone screen. A feeling of deep-seated familiarity washed over her, and the once blurry face in her memory became sharper. Her mind flashed back to a dark, run-down house. A little boy peeked around a doorframe, his voice low. Shh, don't make a sound. I'll untie you, and we'll escape together. Don't look around. Can you still run? We made it out. The kidnappers can't find us now. Don't be scared. I'm here. We'll definitely get away. Madison felt like she was trapped in a vortex. Her heart was a mess of confusion. If Cole Grayson was really the boy who saved her all those years ago, what were her feelings for him? Was it real love or just gratitude for saving her life? Overwhelmed, she decided to go home for a couple of days to clear her head. The moment she got there, she set her sights on her sister, ready to take out her frustrations. She frowned at Chloe, who was engrossed in a video game. All you do is play games. Is your homework done? Chloe looked up, smug and defiant. Finished it last night. Cole helped me. Seeing her sister's attitude, Madison gently tapped her on the head, feigning anger. Even if it's done, you're not playing. It's bad for your eyes. With that, she snatched the phone from her sister and took over the game. But to her surprise, even with her high-level skills, she struggled to play on her sister's account and ended up losing. Confused, she asked, You haven't even unlocked ranked mode yet. How are your opponents so good? Chloe puffed out her chest proudly. Of course. Cole's been carrying me lately. Cole Grayson has been playing with you. Madison's brow furrowed. Chloe realized she'd let it slip. She clamped her hand over her mouth. No, she said, panicked. I had specifically told her not to mention our gaming sessions to Madison. Madison's eyes narrowed. She stared at her sister, then opened up the match history on the phone. Chloe tried to snatch it back, but it was too late. Just as Chloe braced herself to become her sister's punching bag, Madison noticed a crucial detail. Her eyes went wide. The username of the account that had been carrying Chloe was exactly the same as her online boyfriend's. Madison's heart skipped a beat. She eagerly clicked on the account's profile. The next second, she froze. There was no doubt about it. It was Cole Grayson's account. Seeing her sister's reaction, Chloe thought she was genuinely angry. She looked down, her voice trembling. Maddie, please don't get rid of Cole. He only plays with me after we're done with tutoring. But Madison wasn't listening. Her online boyfriend, the annoying classmate, the boy who had saved her. The three seemingly unrelated figures merged into one in her mind. It was like waking from a dream. She finally understood. All along, it had been the same person. Madison slowly handed the phone back to Chloe, her voice so soft it was almost a whisper. Don't worry, I won't get rid of him. Now that I've finally found him, how could I ever let him go? She leaned down and planted a firm kiss on her sister's forehead, a wide smile on her face. Thank you, my amazing sister. I love you to death. With that, Madison turned, ran to her Porsche, and sped off toward campus. Didn't she just get here? Is she crazy, or am I? Chloe, worried her sister was going to cause trouble for me, quickly sent me a message. In the library, my phone screen lit up with Chloe's text. Cole, my sister has lost her mind. You should probably hide from her today. I read the message, confused. Chloe hadn't mentioned she'd spilled the beans about our gaming. She was probably afraid I'd stop playing with her. Another message came through. It was from Madison. Babe, why won't you meet me? I hesitated, then replied. I told you before. In real life, I'm just a normal guy, the kind you hate. You probably have tons of guys chasing you, and you're beautiful. You wouldn't like a guy like me. To be honest, I didn't even know why I was so reluctant to tell her the truth. I guess I was afraid our past conflict would kill the relationship the moment it came to light, and we still had to spend the next 3 years in the same classes. A reply came quickly. Let's meet. Even if you're an ugly monster, I'll still like you, babe. Can we just wait? Let me get ready for it first. Why? I want to make more money first. I'll meet you when I have enough. You wouldn't like a guy who can't even pay for a date, right? I replied. Reading my message, Madison's heart was a jumble of emotions. He saved me when we were kids, so he must have recognized me a long time ago. He knows who I am, but is afraid to say anything, probably because of the gap between our families. That's why he's trying so hard to make money. After a series of wild assumptions, Madison had constructed a plausible explanation for my reluctance. After thinking it over, she decided not to expose me just yet. She replied, Okay, I'll wait for you. I was genuinely surprised by her response. I sent back a sticker of a character working hard to provide for their family. Madison replied, Love you, babe. That's how it is with people who are truly in love. They instinctively try to see things from the other person's perspective. And I had no idea that she had already figured everything out. Excuse me, senior, is this seat taken? A girl dressed to the nines, holding a book, stood in front of me, a shy look on her face. It's free, I said, but if you sit next to me reading a textbook on human anatomy, I might get a little scared. The girl, embarrassed, hid the book she'd grabbed at random behind her back. Actu. Actually, she stammered, fumbling in her pocket for a prepared love letter. Didn't you know he's with me? A cool voice came from the library entrance. Madison strode over to the girl. She was tall, radiating an aura of power that was naturally intimidating. The girl was too nervous to even breathe. Madison asked coldly, You're trying to hit on my boyfriend? I'm sorry, Madison. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. The girl stammered, terrified. Whatever. I don't want to hear it. Just go. The girl fled as if she'd been granted a pardon. I stared at Madison, stunned. Don't get the wrong idea, she said, smoothly, sitting down next to me. You helped me out last time by pretending to be my boyfriend. I saw you were in a tough spot, so I was just returning the favor. We're even now. I managed a weak smile. Well, I guess I should thank you then. No need. If you really want to thank me, you can take me to dinner. Madison pulled up in front of a small, elegant townhouse. I was shocked. My mind reeled. I thought we were going to dinner. Why are we in my family's restaurant? If I go in there with her, my carefully constructed cover at school will be blown. Madison, already out of the car, noticed I was still frozen in the passenger seat. She walked over, opened the door, and urged, Get out. We're here. I thought we were getting dinner. There's no restaurant here, I said awkwardly. This is a restaurant. We're having a private dinner. Before I could say another word, she pulled me out of the car. I could feel my face getting hot. I averted my gaze, looking anywhere but at her. Something is not right, I thought. She's acting so weird today. I should have listened to Chloe and stayed away. Seeing me blush, Madison simply grabbed my hand and pulled me into the townhouse. A hostess greeted us at the door. Good evening. Welcome to the residence. Do you have a reservation? Facing a stranger, Madison's cold mask was back on. No reservation. Are there no tables available? The hostess's smile tightened. I gently tugged on Madison's sleeve. That's a shame. Let's just go somewhere else. No, I want to eat here, Madison insisted. She pulled a few $100 bills from her purse and slipped them into the hostess's pocket. Can you please get your manager? Less than a minute later, a portly middle-aged man came rushing out. He wasn't rushing for Madison. He was rushing for his beloved young master. I quickly put a finger to my lips and shot him a warning glare. I'm the manager here, Will. Is there a problem? Will asked cautiously. We don't have a reservation, but we'd like to have dinner here. We don't mind paying an extra service fee, Madison said. The young master is trying to woo a girl incognito, Will thought. Good thing I swallowed the words young master just now, or I'd be out of job. If there are really no tables. Madison began, but Will quickly cut her off. Of course, ma'am. We have a VIP room available. The party that booked it had to cancel. I'll take you there right now. From Madison's perspective, her plan had worked. Will led us to the third floor. It was less of a VIP section and more of a single private room. After we sat down, Madison handed me the menu. Order whatever you want. Don't worry about the cost. I've never been to a place like this. You should order. It's fine. I said order whatever you want. I glanced at Will, who was still standing by the table. Why don't you recommend some of your signature dishes for us, manager? Of course, I'd be happy to recommend our. No need for recommendations. Just bring us whatever you think is best. I trust you. Yes, of course. Will understood. The young master was giving him a hint. And if the young master trusted him, he had to arrange a magnificent candlelight dinner. As Will left, Madison looked at me, puzzled. I feel like that manager is scared of you. Really? I just think the service is very attentive in a high-end place like this. He was a little too humble with you. Just then, the dishes began to arrive, one after another, much faster than usual. It was a bit strange, but I was too hungry to think much of it. I quickly changed the subject. I'm starving. Let's eat. Madison didn't press the issue. Go on, try it. See if you like it. I took a few bites, then looked up to find Madison staring at me. Is there something on my face? No, nothing. Just eat before it gets cold. Her face turned bright red, and she quickly looked down, focusing on the crispy duck in her bowl. It must be my imagination, I thought. There's no way I find this terrifying woman cute. I must be losing my mind. I shook my head, trying to banish the thought. We were eating in peace when we heard a commotion outside the door. I want to see who's so important that I've been waiting for an hour without a single dish, while they're getting a constant stream of food. Hearing that, it all made sense. The food was coming so fast because that idiot Will, trying to impress me, had prioritized our order over someone else's. And, of course, that someone else just had to be Jason Chandler. I turned to see Jason storming into our room. Maddie? Cole Grayson? You said you were busy tonight, so you could go to dinner with this guy. That's none of your business. Who I have dinner with is my choice, Madison said coldly, her anger rising. Jason was speechless. Just then, Will, who had failed to stop him, rushed in, sweating profusely. Sir, I'm so sorry. If your dining experience has been unsatisfactory, please come with me and we can discuss it. If you have a problem with this restaurant, take it up with the management, I said calmly, not getting up from my seat. We're just customers. It's not our job to solve your problems. You piece of SH. Jason started spewing insults. Suddenly, a security guard rushed in. Will quickly ordered, "Get this troublemaker out of here." The guard grabbed Jason and threw him out. I am so sorry to have disturbed your meal. I will take care of this immediately, Will said, his back soaked with sweat, his voice trembling. I gave him a sharp look. I hope you can, I said, my tone laced with annoyance. Yes, of course. Will nodded frantically and practically ran out of the room, his legs shaking. After that scene, neither of us had much of an appetite. I looked at Madison. She quickly came over, her hand gently touching my wrist. Are you okay? She asked, her voice full of concern. Me? I'm fine. He didn't even touch me. Good. Seeing me looking at her, she snatched her hand back as if she'd been zapped. Are you full? I asked. Yeah, I'm full. I looked at the leftovers on the table. Let's get this packed up. We shouldn't waste it. I expected her to refuse, but her next words showed me I'd misjudged her. If I take all of this back, I won't be able to finish it, she said, looking conflicted. And I can't really give it to my roommates. You know how girls are. They might think I'm looking down on them by giving them leftovers. I smiled. Good thing we guys aren't so complicated. Once the food was packed and we were in the car, Madison handed me a VIP card. I was confused. What's this for? I won't use it. The card is for you. You can come here whenever you want. But you're not allowed to use my card to bring any other girls here, or you'll be sorry. Looking at her mock-threatening expression, I couldn't help but smile. Seeing my smile, she thought I was happy about the gift and preened inwardly. That idiot. He's so happy, but he was just trying to act tough. Back in the dorm, the moment I walked in, my 3 roommates descended on me like a pack of wolves, grilling me for abandoning them to go have fun by myself. I didn't bother explaining. I just held up the bags of food. My king, forgive your humble servant for his loud words. My dear father, please let me have that squab. My liege, how did you know I hadn't eaten tonight? Looking at the harmonious scene, I felt a wave of contentment wash over me, a fatherly smile spreading across my face. Cole, why are you so late today? The moment I arrived at the Pierce house, Chloe was on me like a shadow, chattering away. You don't look happy. Did my sister bully you again? Don't worry, I'll go tell my mom. I smiled and patted her head. Why are you in such a good mood today? Chloe rubbed her head against my hand like a kitten. My midterm grades came out today. Madison, who had just parked the car and walked in, saw me patting Chloe's head. A strange pang of jealousy hit her. That annoying Chloe. Why did she get a head pat from Cole? I want one too. Annoyed, Madison put on a stern face. What are you two doing just standing there in the living room? Go start your lesson. We know. Why are you so grumpy? Chloe stuck her tongue out, then grabbed my hand and skipped up the stairs. In her room, Chloe ceremoniously laid out all her exam papers, her hands on her hips, her face full of pride. Cole, I got 3rd in my class this time. Wow, Chloe, that's amazing. You're so smart. I praised her generously. With Chloe's intelligence, as long as she paid attention in class, she would have gotten good grades even without my help, so I wasn't surprised. And I got all the questions on the topics he taught me right. Full marks. Chloe's eyes crinkled into happy slits. I quickly organized the papers and planned the night's lesson. Come on, Chloe. Let me go over your mistakes. Next time, let's aim for 1st in the class, okay? Okay. Chloe nodded enthusiastically. After the lesson, Chloe leaned in close, whispering like a little mouse. Cole, my mom said since I did well on my exams, she's going to take me to Disneyland as a reward. You should come with us. Faced with the little girl's expectant invitation, I didn't immediately refuse. When are you going? She blinked her big, bright eyes at me. Are you free this weekend? I should be. I answered a little unsure. Don't say should be, she said, shaking my arm and whining. You're definitely free, right? I couldn't resist her pleading. I smiled wryly and nodded. Fine. I'm free. Chloe jumped up from her chair, cheering. Great. I'm going to go tell my mom to get you a ticket, too. I was about to say she didn't need to, but Chloe was already gone in a flash. A few minutes later, she came back into the room, her head hanging low, looking completely dejected. What's wrong? I asked, concerned. Is it not a good time for me to go? Chloe shook her head. No, my mom said yes. It's my sister. Your sister doesn't want me to go. A small smile played on my lips. It wasn't surprising. Madison's weird mood from yesterday was finally over. Chloe shook her head again. No, my sister wants to go too. She wants to go? I was surprised. Chloe pouted. Yeah, I asked her this afternoon if she wanted to go, and she said no. But when I told my mom I wanted to bring you, she popped out of nowhere and said she wanted to go with us, and that my mom should stay home, and she'll take us. So that was it. I thought Madison didn't want me to go, and that's why Chloe was so upset. Why are you unhappy if your sister is taking you? I don't want her to take me, Chloe grumbled. She's such a coward. Every time she takes me to an amusement park, she won't let me go on any of the scary rides. She's the one who's scared, but she always says it's for my own good. Ugh. Before she could finish, Madison had quietly appeared in the room. Madison grabbed her sister's ear, her pale face flushing slightly. She leaned in close, feigning a fierce tone. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll rip your ear off. Ow, that hurts. Chloe yelped, begging for mercy. Maddie, I'm sorry, let go. Madison finally let go and turned to us. Mom already agreed. I'm taking you two to Disneyland this weekend. You're coming too. Her tone was non-negotiable, like an empress issuing a decree. Without waiting for a response, she turned and left. Once she was out of the room, Madison's face, which had been a mask of cool indifference, turned beet red. That stupid Chloe. Why did she have to expose me in front of Cole? It's so embarrassing. Chloe rubbed her red ear and looked at me pitifully. See, Cole? She's so mean. Who would ever want her? Not like me. I'm a good girl who cares about you. I burst out laughing at her melodramatic, faux innocent act. Does it still hurt? Chloe's eyes welled up with fake tears. Yeah, it hurts a lot. Back at the dorm, I was hoping for a good night's sleep when a frantic phone call woke me up. I rushed out, hailed a cab at the campus gate, and said, "Sir, please step on it. It's an emergency." I handed him $200 bills. "Kid, it's not that I don't want to go fast." The driver started, but I cut him off. "How about I Venmo you some more?" "Hey, kid, it's not about the money." The driver explained helplessly. I didn't listen. I opened my Venmo app and sent him $1,000. The notification sound chimed. I was about to ask if that was enough when the driver waved his hand, his expression suddenly serious. "I've been retired from the circuit for years, but you're the first kid to pay me to drive fast. Buckle up." My eyes widened. The driver slammed on the gas, shifting gears with practiced ease. The car shot forward like an arrow. For a moment, the taxi driver seemed to have rediscovered his youth, the thrill of racing. In no time, we were at the hotel. Ugh, if I'd known it would be this terrifying, I wouldn't have spent the money, I muttered. I followed a waiter to room 888. I pushed open the door to find my roommates and a few girls beaten and bloodied. Kyle Becker saw me, grabbed a bottle, and charged at me. I didn't think you'd have the guts to show up. 10 minutes later, Kyle was on the floor, a footprint on his chest. He roared like a wounded animal. "Cole Grayson, you psycho. Do you have any idea who my father is?" I found his words laughable. I crouched down and whispered in his ear, "Even if your father was the king of the world, in this city, he listens to me." The next day, Madison heard what had happened. She wanted to ask her father to pull some strings and deal with Kyle's family's company. But her father told her that Kyle's dad, Daniel Becker, had already paid a hefty sum to me and my roommates to settle the matter privately. A few days later, the Becker family's company went bankrupt due to investors pulling out and a sudden cash flow problem. On top of that, a flood of scandals about the family was leaked to the press. Daniel Becker had no choice but to pack up his family and flee the city overnight. In the hospital, I sat on a bench in the hallway, staring at the container in front of me. The broth was a murky, yellow-green color. A whole chicken floated in it, its expression a terrifying grimace. The steam rising from the soup seemed to form little skull-shaped bubbles. I asked suspiciously, "Are you sure this is chicken soup?" "Of course. You're so lucky. I made it myself. Try it. See if it's good," Madison said, her hands on her hips, completely oblivious to my horrified expression. She looked like she was expecting a round of applause. I swallowed hard. "You don't cook much, do you?" Madison's face turned bright red. "This is my first time. You have to take it seriously." My face fell. "You could have been more specific. That first time is terrifying." But strangely, I found her expression kind of cute. On a whim, I took a sip of the soup. The world started spinning. My vision went black. I tried to say something, but then everything faded. A doctor rushed over. "What happened? Why does the patient have food poisoning? What did you feed him?" "He just had a little of the chicken soup I made," Madison answered, flustered. "Why are there mushrooms in this chicken soup?" the doctor asked, frowning. "It's chicken and mushroom soup. I saw online that it's very nutritious," Madison explained innocently. "But these are poisonous mushrooms," the doctor exclaimed. In a daze, I watched Madison and the doctor talk. Their words floated in front of me like subtitles. I thought I saw my late great-grandma waving at me, telling me she wanted to take me somewhere fun. I shook my head frantically, not wanting to go. She got mad. Then my leg felt like it had been broken. When I woke up again, Madison was asleep, her head resting on my leg. "She's going to catch a cold," I muttered. I reached for the jacket on the nightstand and gently draped it over her. Looking at her rosy cheeks, I couldn't resist reaching out and poking one. She was so cute. The poke must have woken her up. She frowned and slowly opened her eyes. When she saw me, her eyes lit up with relief. She launched herself into my arms like a little rabbit. "You're finally awake. Do you know how worried I was? Are you feeling okay anywhere?" she asked, her hand cupping my face, squishing my cheeks so I could barely talk. "I don't know. I feel fine," I managed to say. "Good." She sighed in relief. How did I pass out? I asked. Well, you drank. She stammered, embarrassed. A nurse walking by explained, you drank a chicken soup made with a mix of 8 different types of poisonous mushrooms. The fact that you're not dead is a miracle. And you woke up this fast? You must be in great shape. Hearing that, my eyes went wide. No wonder the steam looked like little skulls. No wonder I saw my great-grandma. It all made sense. I looked at Madison with a wounded expression. I've never done anything to you. Why did you try to poison me? 8 different types? Were you afraid I wouldn't die properly? Madison's face flushed. She looked down, then suddenly grabbed my arm, her voice soft and pleading like a kitten's. I'm sorry, I know I was wrong. Wrong about what? I teased. I was wrong about everything, she said pitifully. Seeing her so miserable, I couldn't stay mad. I forgave her. The moment I did, her spirits lifted. She raised her hand excitedly. I'll make you chicken soup again tomorrow. I promise, no mushrooms this time. 2 days later, we were finally discharged. The moment we got back to campus, we took deep breaths of the fresh air, soaking in the vibrant energy. This is amazing, one of my roommates said, nodding in agreement. I'm so sick of the smell of antiseptic. Yeah. Cole, why aren't you more excited? Another roommate asked. Why should I be? I had a private room. No antiseptic smell, I said with a smile. Hearing that, one of them flipped me off. Get out of here, you sellout, shacking up with a rich girl. I rolled my eyes. A moment later, he sidled up to me. So, doesn't Madison have a sister? I stared at him in disbelief. Are you that desperate? Her sister is in middle school. He stroked his chin thoughtfully. It's fine. It's only a 6 or 7-year age gap. I can wait. You're a monster preying on little girls, I said, laughing. Hey, I was just kidding. Do you guys really think I'm that kind of person? He asked, looking wounded. Yes, the 3 of us replied in unison. As we neared the dorms, one of my roommates tapped my shoulder. Hey, Cole, look. I think that's Madison. I followed his gaze. A pink Porsche was parked in front of our building. Madison was standing there, holding a massive bouquet of flowers, surrounded by a crowd of onlookers. A headache started to form. What's she up to now? I said to my roommates, I'm going to go hide. You guys deal with her. I turned to run, but one of them, the little traitor, waved at her. Hey, Madison, over here. Seeing me about to bolt, Madison yelled, Cole Grayson, don't you run. She then marched toward me, looking furious. Why didn't you tell me you were being discharged? She demanded. You've been bringing me food every day. I didn't want to bother you anymore now that I'm out, I explained. She clearly didn't believe me. She glared at me, annoyed. I think you're just tired of me. No, really, that's not it, I said quickly. She dropped the subject. In front of everyone, she shoved the bouquet into my arms. Congratulations on getting out of the hospital. These are for you. Her gesture made the crowd go wild with envy. Ugh, the soda in my hand suddenly tastes bitter. Can we just bury one of them at the North Pole and the other on Mars? Stop torturing us single people. All we can do is wish them well. Wait, that's the Ice Queen I've had a crush on for a year. Someone next to him playfully said, Hey, buddy, you dropped your restraining order and handed him a Joker card. My roommates were also full of envy. One of them, grinding his teeth, said, Rich girl, I want one too. Another chimed in, Rich girl, I want a bouquet that big too. The third, holding a small bouquet from his girlfriend, said smugly, I think the flowers my girlfriend gave me are the most special. I looked down at the bouquet and saw a handwritten card tucked inside. It read, To good health, may all the bad luck run away. Equals V equals. I couldn't help but chuckle. Madison's face turned a faint shade of pink. I teased her. This bouquet, just like the chicken and mushroom soup, was something your sister made you bring, right? Yeah, she begged me to. I wouldn't do something so childish. Kids are so much trouble, Madison replied, trying to sound annoyed. Well, thank Chloe for me then, I said. Madison bit her lip, clearly unhappy. Why does he only thank her? I'm the one who wrote the card. She pretended to be mad. You're not going to thank me? I'm getting angry. You said your sister made you bring it. Of course I have to thank her. Realizing her mistake, Madison's face turned bright red. But I'm the one who delivered it. Shouldn't you thank me first? I guess you're right. Thank you, beautiful Madison, for the delivery. I'll give you a 5-star rating later, I said with a smile. Hearing that, Madison realized I was treating her like a delivery girl. She regretted her words. So stupid. I shouldn't have said it was from my sister. This idiot actually believed me. Here, your delivery fee. I pulled a lollipop from my pocket and held it out to her. She stared at it, momentarily stunned. What? You don't want it? I'll eat it myself then, I teased. She snatched it from my hand. How dare you try to take back something you gave to me, she said haughtily, before turning and getting in her car. In Madison's dorm room, she was ecstatic. Babe gave me a lollipop. Ha. Why are you so happy? Did something good happen? Her roommate asked. She just grinned foolishly. Nope. Her roommate walked over and saw the lollipop on her desk. Don't tell me Cole Grayson gave you that. Madison tilted her head, a sweet smile on her face. How did you know? I think you're the one who's lost it, girl. What kind of spell did that broke idiot put on you? He gives you a lollipop and you're this happy, her roommate complained. Madison clutched the lollipop tightly. This isn't just any lollipop. What? Is it a lollipop from a Robert Frost poem? Her roommate rolled her eyes. I seriously think that Cole Grayson kid has put a super lovesick curse on you. Do I really seem that lovesick? Madison asked. Her roommate pursed her lips. Seem? You are. Hearing that, Madison immediately put the lollipop away and resumed her cold, unapproachable expression. What about now? Her roommate nodded. Yep, the familiar feeling is back. Satisfied, Madison smiled again. Good. I can't let him find out, or he'll feel pressured. I have to hide it well. You can do this, Madison. Her roommate stared at her as if she'd seen a ghost, her eyes wide, her hands on her head. She's lost it. She's completely lost it. On the day of our Disneyland trip, Madison had swapped her usual cool-toned outfits for a light pink knit sweater, which made the tips of her ears look flushed and added a touch of soft shyness to her look. I held Chloe's backpack, standing at the entrance, watching Madison fumble with a bow on her Minnie Mouse ears. It was adorable. For some reason, it reminded me of the bouncing bunny ears on her Valorant character the night before. Cole, look. Chloe, like an excited rabbit, dragged me toward the Tron light cycle run, the stitch pin on her hair bouncing in the sunlight. I want to sit in the front row. Madison's face went pale. She gripped the railing tightly. That ride is too dangerous. Maddie, don't tell me you're scared again, Chloe said, winking at me mischievously. Last time at Six Flags. Who said I'm scared? Madison, provoked, stuck her neck out and stubbornly squeezed into a seat. Her hands were trembling. It took her 3 tries to buckle her safety harness. The moment the coaster plunged, her cold hand suddenly gripped my wrist, and she screamed, her warm breath hitting my ear. Cole Grayson, you jerk. I saw the tears glistening in her eyes as her hair whipped around in the wind, and my heart did a flip, like a pack of pop rocks exploding in my chest. So, the campus goddess, usually so cool and collected, could be brought to the verge of tears by her little sister's taunts. As night fell, Chloe ran off to get ice cream, leaving me and Madison alone on a bench in front of the castle. The lights of the carousel twinkled, reflecting in her eyes like a spilled jar of star-shaped sprinkles. I've known for a while, she said softly. She unlocked her phone and held it up to me. On the screen, in her game's friends list, the affinity level between Chloe in the Clouds and Moonlit Grayson was maxed out. My palms started to sweat, soaking the Mickey Mouse gloves I was holding. When did you find out? I asked nervously. I saw you were on Chloe's team in her game history, she said, looking down at her hands, her voice gentle. The first firework exploded over the castle, a brilliant burst of color. Her face flushed slightly as she slowly turned to me. So, can you answer Chloe's question now? Do you? Like? Just then, my lips gently touched hers. In that instant, the sweet smell of popcorn and the absurd memory of the 8 poison mushroom soup collided in my mind. Her trembling eyelashes brushed against my nose. In the distance, we heard Chloe's excited shriek. Maddie, look. Cinderella's pumpkin carriage is real.